Hey there, let me ask you a question. Do you want to close more sales? Well, if you do, great, because that's what this week's 4-Minute Friday video is all about. I'm going to give you a killer question in a second that'll help you close more sales. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Brian Conway from achievesuccess.co.uk. I don't normally talk like this. I'm full of cold, but I wasn't going to let that stop me this week putting this video out. These videos are just short, 4 minutes ideally, little bite-sized bits of training to help you win more sales and earn more commission or revenue for your company if you're a company owner. So let's get started. Now, closing. It's the ultimate part of selling. That's what we're all in it for. We don't get paid until the deal is closed. So I want to give you a question that will help you close more sales. Now, this assumes that you've done all your diagnosis, you've understood the requirements of your business. In fact, if you're familiar with serious selling, the R and the I are all about understanding the requirements of your customer and then the implications of that pain point or whatever it is you've identified to the business. Once we've done that diagnosis and we've got measurable value and metrics that will define how big a problem that is, we're now ready to close the customer. And here's the question that will help you do just that. You ready? You want to write this down, okay? Get a pen and paper, write this down. You won't remember it, I'm telling you. How long are you willing to let this continue? Okay, that's the question. How long are you willing to let this continue? You see, you've identified the pain points. You're now asking them, how long are they willing to let that continue? How long are they willing to suffer that pain, perhaps, that you've identified? Now, there's a couple of key words in here I want to emphasize. If you know me through other training or whatever, or if you don't, I'll tell you, I am very big on very specific language. There are key words that we can use in our language that compel customers to do things, that impact people at a very subconscious and psychological level. And there's a couple of words in here that do just that. The first is you. How long are you willing? All right, we're giving ownership. We've identified this problem. Let's say they're losing 10 customers a month. They've got this great customer attrition issue. And the customer order value is, or average value of a client is $5,000. But so they're losing 50 grand a month. All right, so you've identified that pain point. Well, how long are you willing to let that continue? They own that problem. They're the ones, in effect, that are tearing up that cash or burning that cash as far as the business is concerned. So we're putting some ownership on this. The more important word in here is willing, though. Willing. How long are you willing? You see, this implies there is a choice. You can do nothing and continue to hemorrhage customers and revenues, etc., or you can do something about it. So the question is, how long are you willing to let this continue? Well, anyone in their right mind are going to say, especially if you've done some really strong diagnosis, nobody in their right mind is going to say, well, there's no big deal. We'll let it run for a bit longer. We'll see how it goes. It might right itself. They're not going to do that. They're going to say, we've got to do this now. We've got to fix it as soon as possible. And obviously, when you've got the metrics around the value of that loss to the business, as this, in this example I've just given you, then obviously you could work out payback periods and things as well for them. So if they were losing 50 grand a month and your proposition was a 200K deal that you were hoping to close, and they've got a 4-month payback, that's very powerful. So it's important you do strong diagnosis, but as I said, we've got to still close them. So how long are you willing to let this continue? The answer usually is, we're not. We need to do something about it. Great. Then you're moving them into closing. Now you can just position your product, your service, your solution appropriately, create your value statements, align it with their needs. Now, if you want to make this more specific, you could say something like, how long are you willing to continue losing customers at that rate? How long are you willing to continue losing 50 grand a month, or whatever it might be? Or how long are you willing to suffer the poor productivity amongst your workforce? Or how long are you willing to experience the extra cost that you're currently experiencing because of problem that you've identified, etc. So you can make it more specific, but that's the point. How long are you willing to let this continue? And most people will say, we're not. Right? They're in your hand now. They're ready to be closed. All right, so that's it for this week. How long are you willing to let this continue? Hope you've written that down, as I said, right on top of your pad for the next meeting or your next phone call with a customer where they're at that point of maybe moving forward and into a concluding the business. But use it, all right? Now, I'll see you next week. In the meantime, please apply what you're learning here. Do leave a comment, let me know how you get on, if you try, if it works, etc., etc. Please do share this video with anybody else who in sales that you know, particularly if they're struggling with closing. This could be a very good video for them, really help them perhaps break through to closing more sales. But in the meantime, as I said, just have a great weekend and a great week of selling next week. I'm Brian Conway from achievesuccess.co.uk, and I look forward to seeing you again in 4 Minute Friday. 4 Week Friday, that would be scary. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.